We have one last call here with a question that I think Kenneth and I could maybe answer with one word, but it'll probably take us way more than that. Zach in France, welcome to the show. How can we help?
Hello, Matt. Hello, Kenneth.
Hi.
How are you guys?
Hi.
Good.
Doing well.
So your colleague on the phone told me that I should pick only one question out of the two I had, but if it's okay, I'd like to sneak in that extra little question.
We'll see if there's time because we're way over time.
You'd have been better off just sneaking it in and not telling us.
Okay, then. All right.
Ask whichever one you want, and we'll try and get to it quick.
Yeah.
All right. So with regards to supernatural and natural phenomena, wouldn't a supernatural phenomenon just be considered natural if it is indeed something that is part of our reality and that can happen regardless of whether it's done by a divine being from our perspective?
So you don't get to label something supernatural until you demonstrate that it is in fact supernatural. So this question is kind of complicated in the sense that there may be an actual phenomenon which people have traditionally said is supernatural or suspected as supernatural. And then when we find out the cause, we find out, oh, in fact, this is natural.
Which has been the case every time we've ever found a cause for anything ever. So,
so your suspicion, if I understand you correctly, is correct that it's entirely possible that there could be something out here that we view and think, wow, that's supernatural. And then when we find out what's really going on, it just becomes part of the natural world because now we have a better understanding of the natural world. However, it's a mistake to phrase it that way as because as soon as you say that it is supernatural, it is not natural. And so that gets to what it is, the ontology, rather than, how it actually works. So it's entirely possible that something we saw that we said, hey, that's supernatural or seems supernatural is probably more accurate. Turns out to be natural.
There's a quote that Neil deGrasse Tyson had about this years ago where he wasn't talking about the supernatural per se. He was talking about God, but about God being an ever receding pocket of scientific ignorance. Seems to be the trend.
Yeah. And I'll answer your other question.
My question.
I'll answer your other question that was typed in real quick and let you go. No, I don't think morality comes from evolution.
No.
I think that we have evolved to have the sorts of brains that develop moral instincts and evaluate moral reasoning. But I don't think we evolved to be a particular moral thing in any sense more than just general determinism.
I think I would agree with that. That's actually the case I wanted to make, that individuals in a larger population who have the neural proclivity to exhibit certain behavior that are more conducive for that population to reproduce better would perhaps be considered under a selective pressure that could give us that instinct. And an instinct that over the course of generations could perhaps be reinforced by culture, just like approaching a source of heat activates certain, responses in our brain that gives us the instinct, okay, do not go further, do not touch it, and which is reinforced by, let's say, our parents or our environment telling us the dangers about it. And I wanted to ask that because I wasn't sure that you had ever formulated your understanding of morality and its possible sources in this manner. So do you think we are in agreement with regards to...
Yep, you should look up Superiority of Secular Morality, and you'll find a lecture that I gave about 20 times describing most of my thoughts on morality, but it's shifted a little bit. On that note, I appreciate the call, Zach. I've got to let you go. We've got to get on to all the super chats because, wow, Kenneth and I have run really long, but thank you so much.